Hello, and welcome to Stanton Super Session 2020. This video features part 1 of our recommendations for middle school concert and festival pieces. Thanks for joining us.
From Northern England comes this bright and bouncy piano accompaniment, rhythmic vocal lines, and humorous text, creating a lively arrangement that's fast and fun. Your singers will love discovering the frolicking character of Bobby Shafto. For SAB and SSA voicings, and arranged by Greg Gilpin, here is Bonny Bobby Shafto.
Bobby Shafto's gone to sea, silver buckles on his knee. He'll come back and marry me, Bonny Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's faded fair, combing down his yellow hair. He's married forever, Bonny Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's tall and sly, he's always dressed so neat and travel. Lassies, they all wink at him, Bonny Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's faded fair, combing down his yellow hair. He's mine forever, Bonny Bobby Shafto's faded fair, combing down his yellow hair. He's mine forever, Bonny Shafto. Bobby Shafto's skin up bare, for to dangle on his arm, in his arm and on his knee. Bobby Shafto loves me. Bobby Shafto's skin up bare, for to dangle on his arm, in his arm and on his knee. Bobby Shafto loves me. Bright and fairy Bobby, yellow hairy Bobby, ever merry Bobby. Bobby Shafto's bright and fair, combing down his yellow hair. He's mine forevermore. Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's gone to sea, silver buckles on his knee. He'll come back and marry me, Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's faded fair, combing down his yellow hair. He's mine forevermore, Bobby.
A great masterwork by Vivaldi and edited and arranged by Patrick Liebergen. We present Dixit Dominus. I love this setting because the voice parts are in 3-part mix with those conservative ranges, and it's also available SSA. A very, very exciting Vivaldi masterwork here. Of course, there is some Latin to be dealt with, but Pat, as he always does, gives us a wonderful background note, and his pronunciation guide is in the International Phonetic Alphabet symbols, so it's a really great way to concentrate on the vowels to create good Latin singing. I think this is a fantastic addition to any 3-part mixed and SSA library. Incidentally, we are sad to say, if you've not heard the news, Pat Liebergen passed away this past winter, and we are grieving the loss and wishing his family well, and just celebrating the important voice he had in the choral world. Here's his setting of Vivaldi's Dixit Dominus.
of the Turkish folk song Uskudar. There's a short Turkish text that repeats throughout, so once you've learned it, it becomes easier with each repetition of the chorus. You'll hear the tempo increase throughout as the arrangement builds. It's really exciting. You can also add the optional oboe, finger cymbals, tambourine, and dumbek parts for added authenticity. This is Uskudar, arranged by Mark Burrows.
Hi, my name's Chris Fox, and I'm the composer for Desperta Ferro. I just wanted to give you a brief history of this piece of music and why I chose to write it. Several years ago, I heard this story of the Amalgavars, who were medieval warriors on the Iberian Peninsula who would go into battle, but before they went to battle, they would sharpen their swords on the rocks, and the sparks would fly into the night sky, and they would scream Desperta Ferro, which meant awake iron or rise iron. So when I was asked to write a piece of music for ACDA Central Pennsylvania's Boys Noise last year, I decided that this was a great story that the boys could really get into. Middle school, high school boys singing and giving the break drum a part in this piece of music so it would sound like the sword striking on the rock, and the cries, Desperta Ferro, Desperta Ferro. But I wanted to make sure that we also had the message that was a battle worth fighting. And so I thought about leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Mandela, Gandhi, that have gone before us in a peaceful way and fought a battle of justice and righteousness. And so as we sing this song, we think of the idea of going into battle, that even though we do a battle cry, that eventually that battle cry has to become a battle. So this is kind of a call to action for our young men. I wrote this piece as a TB piece initially, and as we worked and edited through the piece, we decided that it would be really nice as a TTB piece. So if you have a smaller group of men and you want to do it in a tenor and bass and leave out the middle voice, it'll work just fine that way as well. So I hope that you enjoy this piece of music. I hope that you will consider it for your young men as we call for justice and righteousness, and also just a piece of music that's fun to sing. Thanks for considering.
Weston has set a Nigerian folk song for 3-part mixed voices in this arrangement of Dide Tadeo. You'll see that your baritones have the melody through much of the arrangement, which is great for helping them to be successful. The percussion parts are also included in the score and really add a lot to the performance, as well as a pronunciation guide and translation of the text. This is Dide Tadeo.
Those of you who have gotten to know me over the years as a writer know that I enjoy writing poetry just as much as I enjoy writing music. And the song Twilight started as a poem for me. As a matter of fact, on my iPhone here, I often in the Notes app start poems and start ideas. And I see this one started quite a long time ago, and it was called Evening Song. Now it is called Twilight because as the poem developed, I realized Twilight was really the special word. And it's basically 3 verses that I wrote as a poem all about that beautiful time of day, that most serene time when the sun is about to disappear. And there's that beautiful glow of colors. And in the middle of the song, you hear me talk about the colors pink and red, purple and blue. They appear on the horizon, and then they slowly fade from view as the sky turns to black in twilight. Musically, I set this as a very simple, almost folk song-like, with triads. If you were to look at the SSA, you'll see that the triads move in parallel motion a lot, like a folk group would do. And then for SAB, what often works is we take that middle note of the triad and we move it down here an octave lower, and we have like 6 between a lot of the voices. And again, they move kind of parallel along. It's SAB, which means if you sing the big notes only, gentlemen, it's going to be a true baritone range. But you will notice that I put several cues in there. If you're working with a choir that doesn't have a full range of baritone notes, there are options. Enjoy Twilight.
Evening is drawing.
The Fox is a fun, playful arrangement of an English folk song for treble voices. It tells the story of a family of sly foxes and incorporates some body percussion, stomps, pats, and claps, as well as parts for mandolin or violin, guitar, and drum set. Lots of opportunities in here for rhythmic teaching and solfege work, super energetic, and lots of fun on a program. This is The Fox.
One of the best known and oft-quoted poems from World War I, Greg Gilpin's setting of this text is exquisitely solemn, quiet, and emotional. Now available in a new two-part, it's also available in SATB and SAB. Here is In Flanders Fields.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the Spirit.